Hello, Norman. Ooh, your line is quite bad. Maybe just tap use the chat box.
Is it better?
Still quite bad.
All right, but I can hear you now. Thank you very much. I'm in, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Now you're way better. How are you?
You know that I am blessed today that I can actually hear you. I've been struggling with this phone for so long to get to hear you. I am so happy to speak to you. You don't understand. I've got so many things I wanted to share. I've just been overwhelmed, but I'm getting better.
Okay, I'm all yours. This was just designed for you and me.
Oh, I'm so fascinated.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
You're the one who control the starting time. Do you want us to start immediately or should we wait for others?
If maybe with your permission, we can maybe wait another few minutes for others. I just wanted to give you some feedback, but there are things I wanted you to guide me on, if you don't mind.
No, we can definitely use. This is all your time. I'm all yours. I'm just grabbing my notes and we can begin. No problem. Norman, go ahead. How can we assist?
I do agro processing. So peanuts, I do cashew nuts, we do peanuts, we do biltong.
Oh, nice.
Very low key.
Expensive stuff.
Exactly. But very low key, low level because of cash flow. Now, because I've gone through your material, but I must be honest with you, I missed out the deadline of last week. I'll tell you why I missed it out deliberately. I've got next to me Napoleon Hill. I've got the material, I've read that audio book. I've gone through that audio book twice. What I've seen, your deadline, I accept. I missed it. I will make up for it, but you don't understand what you've given me is so much more because now I'm trying to place things and life and work happens, ESCOM happens, but I'm taking so much out of it. Now I've got the point. The point I want to raise with you is, number one, I realize where my biggest flaw is. It's my marketing strategy that's not carrying my business. I'm not getting paid.
So
I've got a viable business that's not. My business is not making me money at all because, one, I'm the obstacle because it's a one-man show. I've been trying to attract talent. People don't want to come to work. I don't understand why. So I've got this thing that I look at your presentation, your work, and I just fell in love. I thought, wow, this is a godsend because it's answering me in so many ways. That's why I picked up the book of Napoleon Hill. I've gone through the audio twice. I'm going through the material. I've printed out everything so far. I've got it in my file so that I want to consume it so that it becomes part of me. It's not something that I'm doing like an exam. I'm doing for paper.
This is not,
I'm doing this for
me. Practical.
Yes, because the things that are here are so important at the practical level because here's a black business who's buying from Safari, but competing with Safari at the same time. So you can understand the anomaly, you understand the madness that goes in here. You fight for shelf space in white companies, they reject you for various reasons. And because I'm not in tune with what should be, I haven't seen money. I've just lost a lot of money. I've lost money that I put in. I live an obscure life right now, which it doesn't bother me because I know God's there. But for me, it is about going through the learning time right now. And that is why I'm so grateful to be able to speak to you like this.
Perfect.
Because I wanted to say to you, one, I've done, and because of experience, when COVID started, I went to Nelspruit. The government been playing with this SEZ Nelspruit for a long time. They haven't done anything. So I went to Nelspruit. The guy was earmarked to launch the SEZ Nelspruit. I met with him. We had a couple of meetings. We went last year to DTIC with him. We met the Deputy Director General, who everybody agreed with my presentation. And we banded a number of 100 million rand. But for me, the strangest thing about the meeting was that nobody said, why so much money? Nobody asked, hey, so money. Nobody had such a word. People just said, okay, fine. For you to have this thing, secure supply, you need to own the value chain. You need to have inputs that you can unlock into your supply, blah, 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 positive feedback. But nothing came of it because COVID monies was redirected. COVID has translated into my business making so many losses. I've lost, I think, over 500,000 last year. It put me in such a bad space financially. Now I've gone and I've done some work and some numbers for a recapitalization plan I put together, and I put it into government, I put it into the banks. But my own track record, in terms of my financial track record, it is standing in my way. So I've put together this thing with numbers, historical plus, and it's just not doing anything for me. So I sit with this thing, and I need the capital. My business needs to expand. My business needs to grow. I need to work with other people who will go and fetch the money in terms of clients. I must sit and make sure production happens, produce come out, but the quality assurance and all of that. So I'm in that space where I need to move out of current position into the next position to prepare for the 100 million Nelspruit export job, because really that is going to be, I've got more than 25.
Okay, hang on, Naman. Let's use this.
In the industry.
Naman,
I've worked
hang on.
for some of the biggest companies. The last job I did was as a sales guy in the same industry. I made 700,000 a month for the man working 3 days. I can't make 100,000. Patience, this is, yeah.
Naman? Hello?
Yeah,
your
yes, I can
line
hear you.
has gone bad. Naman?
I can hear you, and I can see you. I'm just inside the vehicle.
Oh, okay, your line has gone bad again, but I just wanted us to start with something and try to see if we can form some sort of a solution for what you are trying to build up. So one problem at a time, so that, because we're gonna get all over and get overwhelmed.
Of course.
So let's put it together. So you're in agro processing. Your biggest challenge right now is marketing strategy. Where are you based?
Yeah. I'm next to opposite the St. George.
Excuse me?
Centurion. That's
we are in
Centurion, opposite the St. George's Hotel.
We are in Joburg. Norman?
Yes, I'm in Joburg in Centurion.
Oh, okay.
Joburg. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better. Okay. Okay, so there is something that you said. Okay, do you mind? Let's maybe let me mute you so that I don't have a feeder noise. Let me mute you because now there's noise coming from your side. Okay, let's mute you. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's at least it's muting. It's no longer providing a feeder noise. So, Norman, if I was you, I think you are right. Building up a business as a one-man show can really be of a challenge because you can't be everything in your business. But maybe what you need to think about is, who do you want to be in your business? At what capacity do you want that person to be? Now, who you want to be in the business and what capacity allows you to be able to know how you then gonna find that person. So we will start with saying you are looking for someone who actually understand the industry, the value chain of retailing. in the fast moving goods, who will be a marketer. Now, when you're doing the marketing, are you gonna go digital, or are you only gonna go to the physical shops? You need to be clear yourself of which is it, and choose whichever that it is, then that directs you to the capacity. So if you say, I want someone who understand how the dynamics of how the shops work in South Africa within the retail industry, then that's going to be a different skill set when you say, I want someone who can sell my products and services digitally. Now, I also need you to think on, when you bring this person, what will be the terms and conditions? You said there is no one who wants to work. The people wants to work, but they don't want to work in an environment where the intentions are not clear. You're gonna need to ask yourself, what are the terms and conditions, which then outlay your intentions. You can bring anybody in your business. You can bring someone as an employee. You can bring someone as a partner. You can bring someone as a director, or who does not have as a non-executive director. You can bring someone as a strategic partner for a specific project. There is so many ways you can actually make this work, but you gotta be clear. What's your intention? Do you want someone who's gonna be your business partner? And if that is a person, on how you're gonna bring that person, you already know what skill set they need and what personality will fit your business, but then your intention on how you want to work with that person has to be very clear. When it's unclear, it will be difficult for you to find that person. Norman, does that make sense? Can you type maybe the feedback on that? Norman? Can you type the feedback? Okay. Okay, so when you have worked out your clear intention, Norman, of who you want to bring and what capacity you're gonna bring that person, it then allows you to make sure that you set up the terms and conditions. Be transparent when you set up the conditions. What do I mean when I say transparency? I mean, you gotta need to share your fears that you have with that person and be vulnerable in sharing the things that have happened to you and how you concluded the things, and indicating why you need them in your business and what value you expect them to bring into your business. When you have done that, it creates a closer relationship to make sure that you build up. Now, I see you have said that you need a partner to help you grow, but you need to define that partner. Who's that partner gonna be? What capacity do you want that partner? So when you talk about capacity, you talk of skills and resources. So you want someone who has what skills and what resources, and how much of those resources do you want? And if it's resources that is non-tangible, which is, for example, like network, you need to specify which networks. And then when you talk about resources, how much money do you want this partner to actually come and provide the support for you? And because you're gonna need to know how much this person can actually contribute. When they are contributing as a partner, is it equity or is it debt? Princess, do you mind to mute yourself? Thank you. So you're gonna need to make sure that you are clear, is it a debt or is it an equity, this partner you're gonna actually bring into your business? Okay. I'm not sure how to get those figures. What do you mean you're not sure how to get those figures? There aren't no figures to work out. What you have to, when you talk about figures, I'm not sure in terms and conditions. The terms and conditions is what you want and how you want things to work. No one can tell you what terms and conditions you need to have. You have to determine that. What do you want? How do you want this partner to work with you? What do you want from them? That is what we call terms and conditions. Now, you can't sell shares on something that you don't know what the value is. If you're needing someone who's going to be a shareholder, you cannot sell shares on something you don't know what the value is. It's always better, Norman, to actually, at the beginning, build up a partner to be that person who borrows you money first, with the aim that when they learn to work with you, or when you learn to work with them, it can then be converted to be equity. So I generally advise entrepreneurs, don't just offer your shares to anybody. Before you offer any shares, rather offer the debt arrangement so that it's easier to exit. You will owe them money and you pay them the money. But you can convert the debt to be what? To be shares once you have experienced the relationship with that person and you know that's a person you can work with. And how are you going to work out how much debt you need is going to depend on your books and how you leverage in your business. Sawubona Bongani. Norman, do you have any questions? Do you want to type more for clarity if there's anything that you want to follow up on? Okay, just type the questions then. Sawubona Bongani. Bongani? Would you please unmute yourself?
Hello, morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Hello, morning. Fine, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm okay. Yeah, sorry, I've got network problems. Yeah.
No problem. Bongani, let's go through your, how has it been with your strategy? How is it going with your strategy? Have you managed to come up with one-page strategy?
Okay, let me try and move. Let me try and move from this side. Hello?
Yeah, Bongani. Have you managed to come up with one-page strategy?
Yeah, I'm working on it because we're submitting on Friday, so I'm working on it. Yeah.
Is there areas where you got stuck? Were you happy on how your vision is mapped out? Did you link your vision to the values?
I beg your pardon?
Did you link
I don't know the network this side today. It's weak.
Yeah, you have a weak network. My question is...
The network is keep on breaking. I hear you, then you cut off.
Okay, no problem.
It's my phone. Okay, you're saying?
I was saying, were you able to link your vision to your values?
Yeah, yes, to my values, yes. Yeah, my vision is aligned to my value.
To your values, okay.
Yeah,
Then the next question is, have you also worked out what makes your industry works? Have you worked out what will make your business to succeed? Have you figured out what's the recipe for your industry?
Yeah, I've figured out the recipe for my industry. As in my industry, mostly it's to do with food and health, you know. So I figured it out. So because I'm trying to align myself with in a way that I provide or supply, or I supply health diets. Will diet. I'm trying to figure out. I'm in the diet space. Alternative of other meals. Then I'm trying to go into that space where I can. There is a niche market. There is a niche market. I've researched. There is a niche market for my industry. So it's just that I just need to push and operate it permanent now.
Okay, Bongani, you are not giving me a straight answer. The
Yeah.
question is, have you figured out what makes the type of business you want to build successful in your industry?
Have I figured it out?
Yes.
I'm actually in the, yeah, maybe I don't get your question proper, but I'm actually in that business. As I said, I'm in hydroponics, aquaculture, and all of that. So
Okay.
yeah, so I figured it out the way I figured it out, because it's not a common business especially in Black communities, you see. So I've got my own strategy, because I'm trying to research from other communities how it operates, but I'm in it in the black community. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I've got a niche market, but I'm not sure how I should answer you on that. So, but
Okay, Bongani, let me make an example for you. Maybe that will make it easier for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in a publishing space, my business, and training space. Those are two separate industries, but they're interrelated. So when I say you have figured out a success recipe for the publishing companies in South Africa, you gotta need to have a speaking engagement to get your sales up. And when people ask you for speaking engagement, they will then need to buy your books. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So, and that is now on selling more books. On training and development, the recipe for success is not to directly provide the service to the entrepreneurs, but get somebody to pay for you to run the training and training program. And that's the recipe that you will have in those industries. So when I ask you, have you figured out a recipe for success, is to say, what is the most, where I get most money, and I have figured out how I will get most money.
Yeah. No, I have figured it out how I will get most money when I to start my harvesting. As in, I will be supplying, like, as I said, I've seen a niche market in Black communities.
You will supply who?
Yes, yeah, like your I'm saying, your spaza shops is in Black communities, especially with fish products, because they are not there. You can't just find them. Only fish products you only get from your big retailers. If like, I'm not talking about tinned fish, I'm just talking about fresh fish. It's rare that you find them in the Black communities, like spaza shops and this sanyamas, butcheries in Black communities. Okay. So that's my target market. That's where I can see I can make money there.
Bongan, have you tested your ideas?
I've tested it before, because since I'm in P, I used to go to the docks and buy stock of and sell them to houses, then collect at the end of the month, something like that. So I know if it's in demand, that product.
Okay.
But now I've started to yes.
Okay. Where you are, Princess, would you please mute yourself? Thank you. Bongani, what you have to understand is that if you're gonna supply perishable products, you gotta need to have a very strong value chain. But number two, you must have consistent orders that will reduce your storage cost and and also reduce the risk of that product going off or getting stale.
Yeah.
So I am really asking you, understand that the supply that you're talking about is also gonna be influenced by the demand. You are saying there is a demand. I need you to work out the number of stores or shops and make sure from each store you are clear how many fish they wanna order and do they have a storage to store that fish, or are you gonna need to provide the storage for that? Is it gonna be a consignment stock, or are they gonna buy the fish from you? Because either or, I'm not asking you to answer the question. I'm asking you to prepare a clear plan on if it's a consignment stock, what does that mean in terms of how you're gonna manage the cash? And that is why I'm saying, before you can deal with the supply, really get you into the demand. List all the spaza shops that you are targeting within the area. Check in each store how many fish are they gonna order. Do they have a storage to store this fish? And how much money will that you make before you can actually say, I have tested this idea. I don't want you to say I've tested it because maybe you did it once or twice or over whatever, but I need you now to make sure that you write it down. But you must also be clear at what price these spaza shops are willing to take this product for, at what price, so that you know what is the price that in the market, and you can take it like that and then build it up and say, okay, when I get the supply, when I get suppliers, how much should I be buying this stuff for? And who are the suppliers that can give me at this price? That is because then you're really gonna struggle to make this work. You might also need to consider, if you are saying I supply healthy diet and then you talk about fish, you really need to ask yourself, are you processing the fish or you're not processing the fish? Or is it just fresh fish?
Yeah, I'm actually processing them.
You're processing it to be what? Dry fish or tinned fish?
To be dry fish for one, and also fresh fish as well. Okay. On both, I'm looking. I'm not looking on one strategy. I'm looking at them on both.
On both products.
Yeah, on fresh fish, dry fish. Yeah, and the frozen fish. You know.
My suggestion for you: once you have established this demand, you will have then two types of fish, dry and fresh. But you will also then need to make sure you work on your product development. Do enough research to know which fish will work better dried and taste better when it dry, and versus which fish doesn't taste. So do your proper testing on which product you can make them dry. Okay. And Norman is saying you need to be careful. You need to make sure that you get certified by your local health department through your municipality. Okay. That is what Norman is providing as a guide. And thank you so much, Norman. Thank you, Bongani, for connecting. If you need further guidance, let me know.
All right, no problem. I'm with you. Thanks.
Okay, Princess, hi. You were struggling to get in. Are you babysitting there? Princess? Princess, can you talk? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, let me move to say no limit connections. I don't know who's that. Guys, we have requested you to join with your normal name because when we are doing the attendance register and reconciling, we're not gonna find on your ID listing no limit connection. No limit connection, can you speak? Unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, what's your name?
Liberty.
Liberty who?
Dlakute.
Dakota. Okay.
Yes.
How far are you on your strategy? Have you worked out your vision, your mission, and your core values? Are you clear what culture you want to create in your business?
Yes, I am clear.
Have you done your pastel?
No, not yet.
What is stopping you to do your pastel? What about your business canvas?
I haven't done yet because I had some problems with my networks and with load shedding.
Okay, so when are you going to
Yes.
be able to catch up?
I'm going to start today.
Okay, so have you done business model canvas before?
Yes, I did it with Northwest University, but that was back in the years. I think 3 years ago or 4.
Did you find it useful when you did it?
Yes.
Were you using it? Have you been using it in your business in the last few years after you designed it?
Yes, I did use it once and then it did work for me. And then basically I needed to go and revisit it so that I can build my business more with it again, because apparently when I was using it, I didn't have that more or much established business. But since I have an established business now, or I'm trying to pick it up, then I solely need to go back and revisit it again.
Okay. When it comes to pastel, have you done pastel before?
No.
Do you understand? Have you read your material on the strategy?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you listened to the audio?
Yes, I did, but not all of it.
Okay. Okay. Just, you do have my direct cell number, right?
Yeah. Who are you?
My name is Precious. It's written there.
Oh, yes, I do
I'm
have
the
them.
facilitate.
Okay, I do have them.
Okay. When you are stuck on
Yes.
any of the components, would you please
Yeah.
let me know so that I can then assist you? Send through your questions.
I'll do
Okay.
that.
Is anything that you want to ask? This is the platform for you to ask any question on what you have done so far.
Not exactly. As soon as I have a question, I'll make sure that I hit you up.
Okay. Okay, it's just make sure that when you are, or just send us through. But also if there are questions, you can type them on the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and then we can then discuss them. The purpose
Okay, no
of a
problem.
group session, a smaller group, is to allow everyone to be able to ask questions, but also to get guidance on the areas where they are stuck in completing the task, but also in their own business.
Okay, thank you. No problem. I'll do that.
Norman, you have sent me a direct message about a recapitalization document. I will not be able to look at the recapitalization document without being clear on what is your strategy first. So I will need that one-page strategy with your business model so that I can then see how you're planning to do this. But also, do you even have financial statements that is supporting that recapitalization document? Norman?
Can I speak?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
All
hear
right. Okay.
Go ahead, Norman.
All right. The document that I've done, it has historical financials captured. I don't have audited financials because of the cost related to them. So,
but you don't need an audited, Norman, you don't need an audited financial statements. You just need financial statements that a bookkeeper or an accountant has prepared. They can be,
Yes.
you can prepare them also yourself if you do have Excel knowledge, right? Because it's just populating them in a template.
Yeah, yeah. So the work that I've done, it is all encompassing. It discusses the journey from, I started my business in 2014.
Okay,
But
hang
I've got
on.
industry.
Would you have a one-page strategy and a business canvas with that document?
The document has a canvas in it.
Okay.
But the strategy is not a one page. In totality, this document, I think, has about 14 pages. So it goes into the index, it discusses all of the
it's
elements.
too long. No, man, you're gonna need to change your document to be a pitch deck, which should not be more than 5 pages.
Okay.
Let me just type it for you. It's called the pitch deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
already too long.
In terms of the pitch deck, just because I've never prepared one previously, so if you could give me the guidelines concerning a pitch deck, that would be the element you wanted
the
me
pitch
to
deck,
respond
you
to.
can just put it, you can just Google online a pitch deck, and then there are several examples of it. Your aim is to try to drill down to the problem and the solution, and then drill down on different options of that solutions, and then give the benefits of that person investing in your business.
I'll do that. Because it's an electronic document, so I'll just get
just cutting and pasting. You're gonna need to put it in a condense so that when whoever that you're gonna be speaking to, you're speaking with them with a very clear and precise discussion. And you don't go to history. You say, when you go to history, it's just providing a background, but only when they ask for the background. You say, what's the problem? What's the solution? And what option does that person has? As I have told you, that you gotta need to understand also that even if on building up your business, Norman, the business is built from a capacity point of view. It's not necessarily built from providing just capital. Because even if you get the capital, you might get the capital, but not use it properly because you don't have the right skill and the right experience to use that capital, to prioritize that capital. So just be careful that whatever that you are looking for is what exactly is missing in your business. So I will make up another example. My business, it's in publishing, as you guys know, and training. I'm not missing a trainer or a coaching, but I'm missing a software develop in my business. So why do I need a software develop? I need a software develop to figure out how to convert what I've done to be an app instead of me physically doing it. Do you understand? So
Yes.
someone then will say, okay, Precious, how much do you need? I've done the estimate, it's 1.3 million that I would need to monetize all the stuff I've done. Do I go to the market and say, I'm looking for 1.3 million? No. I go to the market and say, I'm looking for a software develop. It's only when I sit with the software develop, depending on what that software developer is looking for, and depending on what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone I'm gonna pay as a service provider. I'm looking for a partner, someone who's gonna join my business, but create a new value that does not exist based on the value I have built. So then the negotiations and the terms and conditions that I'm gonna have with that person would be based on what that person can do. How far can that person take me? And that is why it's important to have a very clear understanding. Don't quote your problem with money. Money does not solve the problem in your organization. What solves the problem is the experience, is the skill, it's also the networks. Is someone who understands the industry, who will say, oh, let me call so-and-so. Oh, I think so-and-so can hook you up with so-and-so. That is what you need. So just really look at your business and ask. Remember, guys, let me show you something. I'm gonna show you something. I think you guys have already got this in your presentations of what I have covered. For those who have done the I'm gonna share something with you now. I'm gonna share the screen now. Okay, it's not opening. Okay, give me a second. Now it is. I'll start again. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna share, and I'm gonna just for the. I'm gonna try to do this again. Hey, these things. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. I wanna show you something. I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we kind of not get this, and maybe this is explaining it better than me. I'm just running through the strategy. Do you see that the start of your achieving your goals start from organization capacity, and then it leads to internal processes, then leads to custom, then leads to the financial. What do we mean when we talk about organizational capacity? When we talk about organizational capacity, we're talking about the learning and growth. We're talking about the knowledge that and the innovation. Whereas when we talk about internal processes, we're talking about the business efficiencies and effectiveness in delivering what it does. And then when we're talking about customers, we're talking about customers coming back. We're leveraging the customer service. We're leveraging customers that are buying. Remember, a customer is not someone who buys from you once, but is the person who buys from you all the time. And then that leads into the financial results. So if we were to focus on creating a proper capacity within the organization and capability, all these things that we want to achieve can be easily be achieved. In this example of one-page strategy, they're focusing on knowledge, the skill, the technology, which also is talking about innovation. They also then talk about the supply chain in terms of capacity as an organization. And they then will measure that, and they know where they are targeting. But they will have worked out this 95%, 90%, or whatever percentage it is, based on knowing where are we in our capacity on that. And then they will then design projects that will make sure those things happen. And that is now talking to the nodes on there. That's then directly linked into internal processes. What do we need to improve to make sure we're efficient and effective in our organization? Leading to how will that, what we're doing, be of a value to customers? And from that, then giving us the results. So if you then gonna go and pitch and ask for funding from anybody, or even ask for a partner, you gotta need to be critical on where are you on capacity, where are you on internal processes, where are you on customers? Then to ask for the financing, so that that person knows where exactly is the money gonna get spent. I hope that that assists Norman, and I think also it will be applicable to you, Bongan. So when someone is buying shares, even though they are buying shares in terms of equity, again, we must be in a position to value the business first. What's the value of the business, so that we know what shareholding percentage is that person gonna hold? How much are you willing to exchange for that? Is it possible for you to do the valuation, even if it's a desktop valuation, Norman, of your business? What is currently sitting in your business? What does that mean in terms of your wealth? But also making sure that in your internal processes and systems, whatever that you have done so far, is it documented? So those are the things you're gonna need to be keeping in mind also. Noted, Norman, of understanding the one-page strategy. So you please listen. There are videos. I think there's more than 6 to 10, if I'm not mistaken, of videos within the strategy. I have shared that in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Please go through that, Norman, and really, even if you listen to it over and over, that's okay. It just allows you to be able to see that how all of this is linked and integrated. Okay. Do you guys have any questions of what I've just shared now? Liberty, do you have any questions? Bongan? Okay.
Precious.
Hello.
On the course we free. Pin and pay every month 20 gigs. Get that.
Bongan, where you are, there are people talking behind you. We can hear them, not you. So I will mute you for now, rather maybe type on the chat box. Thank you. Liberty. Okay.
Precious, it's Norman, can I come in?
Yes, please.
I'm looking at this one-page strategy and the annual targets. Are these new targets, or do I say my figures if I want to continue but to show growth? Because when I look at the capacity, and you make such a wonderful point, and thank you for opening this thing to me, is to say I see now the organizational capacity as a one-man show. I'm capable of, let's call it 1,000 a month. But if personnel, I was on the new intake of personnel, and capacity. Is that what you are looking for in terms of this whole information? Because the projects and initiatives is obviously I get a sales team, my expectations from the sales, which then fits into the measure right in the way that I'm looking at it.
Norman, I lost you quite a bit. Is it possible for you to try to maybe move to another spot and then ask your question again, or type it?
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, thank you.
All right, what I was asking was, when I look at the one-page strategy, because I want to populate it, but more than anything, I want to have full value of this document, because as you've explained it, it opened up a lot of things for me, because I sense that for me to get to the financials, I need to start from the bottom, as you've explained it, the organizational capacity. Do I start and say, as a one-man show, my capability or monthly turnover, as an example, would be 1,000. But the measures will be to get new labor, to get new skills, and the annual target will be 2,000. And then the projects and so on is what the things I will be putting into place to achieve the organizational capacity. The internal processes, I think, has a lot to do with the organizational capacity, like having a bookkeeper, blah, 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 quality controls in production and so on. And the customer would be my marketing strategy in a synopsis. And then the financials would be, what do I expect from this strategy that I've put below in terms of what it will come as a financial outcome? Am I correct in how I see this thing?
Okay, my brother. We start from here. So you will have a pastel analysis, which give you the political, economic, social, technology, and legal and environment, right? Which talks to questions. And from these categories of these questions, you then bring them into this category on whether that environment, for example, you will say, the tax issue or the economic domestic status right now, when it comes to, does that provide you with a strength or a weakness? Okay, let's go back. Consumer opinions about the type of product that you have. It's healthy product, so it's got a positive consumer opinions. Great. Does that give you a weakness or strength or opportunity or a threat? So you basically take what are the matters relating to what? To your pastel. You also take the issues that are coming from your Porter 5 forces, right? And if you've gone through the material, you'll see that there's quite a lot of detail and questions that are asked on this. That then helps you to say, okay, both pastel and also the Porter 5 forces allow me to categorize everything that I understand about the industry into this 4 perspective, whether it's a strength, it's a weakness, it's an opportunity, and the threat. What you then do, Norman, is that you take what is your strength and you put it into your company profile, into your proposals, into your desk, pitch desk on what do we stand for, and that is your marketing material. This helps you to position your business. You will then take your weaknesses and prepare a development plan. You then take your opportunities. The opportunity is the one that you then use to build up your strategy. So maybe in your opportunity, you have identified, for example, when you were doing the bargaining of supply, of supplier, bargaining power of suppliers, or bargaining power of customers. Maybe you picked up that actually the products that I am offering, they are considered as health. Most people, due to the health crisis we're in, everyone is really focused on being more healthy. Perfect. Okay, that is an opportunity, right? But what does that mean in terms of your value chain and distribution? It means I'm gonna need to make sure that my products and services are targeting people that want to be healthy. Perfect. So there's more, there has been an increase in market share of people. Perfect. But now maybe there's another opportunity in relation to the suppliers. The suppliers, due to COVID, there has been a reduction. There are few companies that maybe are closing because they cannot maintain or run. Maybe by reducing of the supply, this supply might actually increase my price because it means stuff are less accessible. So it can be both in and out. It can be both negative and positive, but you then have to plug it in here in your SWOT analysis. And the stuff that is positive, which is what is sitting on your opportunities, you're then gonna take it straight into your what? Your strategy and say, okay, for me to achieve the success in this organization, based on my understanding of the demand and the supply of my products and services, right now, I'm able to supply 1,000 units for what I do. But how much demand have I received for? Did I receive a demand that is above 1,000? If the answer is yes, then the question is, how much can I increase my supply by to meet this demand? Because you should not be producing things which do not actually have a demand. Then in that understanding, you will say, maybe I have a 2,000 demand, which means I need to double up my units that I currently make now. To double up these units, what capacity do I need in my organization? And then you list down that capacity. I need labor time of both skilled and unskilled. What does that mean in terms of the organogram? Who do I need to actually do what? Maybe I'm gonna need a person who's gonna do a packaging because now the other one will not be able to do it. Maybe I need a machine that is actually, now that talks to the capacity and capability, right? Or maybe I need this type of skill set. Maybe I need this, maybe I need, so you list down based on that. Okay, and then you do the organogram. You then do the job description and the job profile so that now you're clear and how much that person is gonna be paid for. Now you are doing what? The estimation of the cost. I can hear, Norman, you are typing.
I'm making notes. I'm making notes because I don't want to get lost in all of this because I understand, you know, for me, what I must tell you as an experience is that I'm giving myself the opportunity for relearning, because sometimes when a person learns and where you've got an obstacle and you can't overcome it, it becomes a problem. So I'm relearning myself into what you are saying so that I can follow your format and the structure, because I can see the points that you mentioned here in terms of the development of weaknesses into a developmental plan. It is something new for me. I never looked at it as that before. So I'm quite grateful for what you are saying. That's why I'm trying to make notes as much as possible.
No problem. So what I am saying, Norman, your organizational capacity cannot just come from your head. It has to come from you doing the environment assessment of what is happening in your markets, in your industry, in your sector. And then coming out and say, hey, right now, this is providing an opportunity for me. Right now, this is providing me with a weakness. Right now, this is providing me with a threat. And then you using the area where there's opportunities, and then take that and then design that one-page strategy. That one-page strategy is like a blueprint on how you're gonna capitalize on the opportunities.
Yes, yes, I see. I definitely see it. I see it.
So as you're building up, you do not ignore your weaknesses. You also do not ignore your threats. And that is why it's important that being aware of those weaknesses, you will then pull up and build up a plan on how to fix those things. There is risk or threats or weaknesses that you can't do anything about. Just keep that in mind. Those we will consider them as the things that maybe are embedded within your system. For example, some of those weaknesses could actually be stuff that happens in your industry, but some of them could be within your business. Now, when you're looking at your organizational capacity, try to keep these three in your mind. Do not have any lower level than this. Look at your business in three areas: administration, which I also call corporate services, right? Business development and operations. Don't try to break it down in more, especially when you are starting up, especially when you are one-man show. But when you start having more than 5 people that are permanent in your business, you can then break it down to these lower levels, but you still have these 3 major areas, which is admin, business development, and operations. So when you're looking at the competency, which is capability, look at the skill, look at the experience, talent, qualification, and personality. Remember, anyone that you bring into your business is gonna live with a certain type of culture. You're gonna be clear which culture you wanna create. So you possibly gonna need to also work out what type of personality you should be recruiting. And sometimes people don't pay attention to this, and they wonder why then their businesses do not attract the right people. The reason you do not attract the right people is that there is a possibility that you're only recruiting on qualification and skill and experience, but not on personality. Let me tell you this: a person who has a good personality and a good attitude will actually way better than the person who have a skill and a bad attitude. You want to bring the right energy into your business, but also consider just a pure talent, personality in terms of pure talent. Someone maybe may not have a skill, but a huge talent and can produce the result. So really keep that in mind. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? And questions are open for anyone in the group, guys. Come through.
The one page, Precious, can I come in?
Yes, go ahead.
The one page, I'm looking at the one page, I've got it in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the notes and so on. I'm not sure. Now I'm becoming overwhelmed in terms of the information and the size of the information and the size of the space in front of me. Because here now I look at the situation where you say less is more, and I don't know how to condense it.
So you're gonna be clear what message you wanna send out first. This is the problem. This is the solution. Here are the options we have on the solutions. And this is the outcome that I expect. And what do you expect the other person to do? But that has to be filled, that has to be driven by you having done this one page. Do you see this one page? I actually even direct you on every aspect of your business.
Yes, yes, it does. It actually does.
And it's not 14 page, it's one page.
Yes, yes.
You're the founder of this business. This is the document that you should live by. This is your blueprint for the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, yeah. Now I really have to rethink the things that I've done, the way that I've done them before, because when I look at my results up to this far, they are not paying. So I'm in the relearning process right now.
So what we say is, when you find yourself in a situation where you know deep down in your heart, you are not where you want to be, and you are not where you wish you are, right? You would like to be. You then need to say to yourself, what is it that I need to do to get to where I want to be? Sometimes that comes very quick and easy, but sometimes it takes time. The process of going through this documentation, this process of strategy, allows you to be able to extract the most important things that you need to focus on. But it also takes you away from just having the action and to-do list that is too operational. Because at the end of the day, you should focus on building the business, not just doing things. And building the business means you're working on the business, not in the business. And you need to review this document on regular basis as the industry changes, as more opportunities are coming, update it. As more things are changing, update it. But what you will realize is that it's easier now even to update your SWOT analysis. It's get easier also even now to see, okay, based on what you have updated, what does that mean in terms of you resetting up your new plans? So I know at this point, you will feel a bit overwhelmed. It's the first time you're doing this, but the amateur who has done one run of Comrades Marathon, one can only be a master doing it every year by practicing. You're just gonna need to practice, and I will review these documents for you to guide you. How are you gonna select what are the measures? How are you gonna select what are the targets? How are you gonna select the projects? So let's make an example, Norman. You will select the measures based on what you already have. So let's just say you have done maybe some sort of a skills audit in your organization. You can see that here are the skills that are missing. You should then be having a measure of saying, I want my staff to have this level of competence. And you can have maybe an employee skill set targets, and everyone has got a specific target on what competence they need to have. So that would be the plans. If it's relating to you, as personal as you can maybe put it down and say, by end of the year, I should be able to do the following. I should be able to present, I should be able to do this. There's so many things that depending on where you feel there's a gap. Remember, organizational capacity is about where you feel there's a gap, and that gap, when you have closed that gap, it will take advantage of the opportunity. So the gap that you identify in your business must be directly linked to the opportunity. You can't fix something that's not going to drive any value. And same thing with internal processes. It's not just going to be saying, I'm going to improve this process. You're going to need to know which process I'm going to improve, why that process is not working out right now, and what can be done to improve that process. And also some other instances, some process can be improved, but the outcome does not depend on you. So maybe that's not a process you should be improving. You should always improve things that you internally 100% in control of. And build up to customer. How will that benefit the customer? How will that drive our revenues, our profitability, our net worth in the business, which is now finance? How will you know what's the right target? For you to set the target, you're gonna need to have a baseline. It's similar to setting up the goals. Before you can set a goal, you also have to be very clear, where are you right now? Because where you are tells you how far you can go or which way you need to go and what do you need to use to go. So you can't just thumb suck and say 5% per year, 2% per year. What does that mean in Vail? If you're gonna increase your revenue in the target by 12%, you're gonna need to know what is the current revenue. And that 12% must talk to this environment. You can't just say my revenue is gonna increase by 100% when the environment economically, in the domestic environment, the economic status, the people are getting retrenched, there's less people working in the country, and there's a whole list of things that are indicating that actually the economy is going down. So why would you say I'm gonna increase my revenue by this percentage? So it must talk to the environment, it also must talk to the consumption of that product. There are products that when the economy goes down, their consumption also increase, like alcohol, because more people are getting depressed, right? There are products that when the economy is improving, it also, they like luxury traveling, more luxury accommodations, hotel utilization. when the economy is booming, those luxury, the cars that are luxury, actually the spending increase, more people buy that, right? But when there is lesser money circulating, there's less people buying those, right? So you really need to make sure that you're just not thumb-sucking things. And when you are not clear, start looking at what's the trend. Analyze the trend in your market. What's the trend right now? What does that mean in this trend? What influenced this trend? What's the buying pattern of the customers? To then come back and say, okay, it's 5%, it's 10%. I hope, Norman, that helps.
It does. It does. It does. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Perfect. We have more than enough resources, and use that worksheet to guide you. And yeah, I think you will be able to do it. You can do this. You can do this.
Definitely, it's something that I can do. I see it. And as much as I see it, I understand it much better because it is interlinked. All of it is interlinked. And as much as a person has previously dealt with SWOT analysis, but I've never really had it broken down into these finer details where I can see the flow of information that runs from the one into the other, that literally influences every aspect of your balance sheet, because all the actions then end up in that balance sheet. Everything that comes into your financials. So I'm looking at how do I then connect all the dots in my own business so that I can transition from, I call myself a micro enterprise, but I would like to become a commercial one day. And I think by using these steps now, I can easily look at how to get from where I am today and given time, but also measurable price into a midstream, into top end, and then into commercial, because that's what I want to be. I've been working in commercial, so I understand some of the dynamics very well, and the flow of money and the flow of product and the flow of all of these items. So for me, I'm grateful for the opportunity that things are coming together in a very simplified format. And the only thing that is left is for me to put this into practice, but to own it and to integrate my own information with what you've provided. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And Norman, the purpose of this, most of us as entrepreneurs, we walk around, the strategy is already in our head, but it's not formulated into on something that somebody else can step on your shoes and be able to run with it. Your role,
absolutely right.
And Bongan, is to get yourself fired in your business. Your role is to build a business that you can sell. Is to build a business that you can leave for your children, leave a business that you can leave for the entire community to benefit from. But that's not going to happen when the stuff is in your head. That's not going to happen when all this knowledge and the understanding of the industry is not documented in a simplest way to allow people on how did you conclude and how did you collect that information? What informed your decisions leading to this? And this process allows you to be able to do that. You can easily justify it, but you can also select the right information to help you to demonstrate that you know and understand the industry.
Absolutely.
So another thing that I wanted
to say, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
What I wanted to raise with you guys was that you gotta need also to almost like understand that everything that you experience in your life, bad or good, in your own interpretation, is designed for you to learn from. And everything that you have and you are experiencing in life it is based on your belief system. When you do not like what you are experiencing or what you are getting in life as a result, work on your belief, work on what your mind focus on, work on what you think about all the time, work on the feelings you have about those things. And I would like to challenge you that in the areas that you have highlighted that are currently areas of where you feel you are weak at, ask yourself on the areas that, what are my beliefs? What do I say when I think about this? What do I say to myself? What do I say to other people when I think about this? Because in life, we attract what we believe. When we start really looking at what do we believe in and changing certain things in a certain way, we then can change our outlook on things, and we will start attracting the right people, the right networks, and also achieving the result that we are looking for. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. When you speak the way that you do, there's one thing though that has come up for me, and I've asked you the question about a mentor. A mentor, I want to just get your opinion on a mentor. Can it be one person? Or because for me, my immediate aim is to get, and I'm looking on the internet for people who've workshopped it, etc., the sales dynamic, because I've looked at my weakness, and part of it has been the identification of talent. How do I approach people that I need to assist me to do sales, and the perfect or the correct offering for them? Because I don't want to offer them money that I can't pay them, because after I've done my margins and I looked at what I need, and then I plus and I multiply that with the volume that I should sell to make myself get paid, as well as make sure that everything else is paid and we're moving into the right direction as a business. My insecurity has become that of, and I've struggled for a while now to attract sales people to assist me in the sales department. And it has become so serious for me that it became a point where I felt like I'm incapable of doing that thing, and it really didn't sit well with me. So I don't know if you have an opinion about it and possibly how I can overcome this weakness of mine.
So first of all, a mentor is someone that has walked the walk and has a success moment that you are looking for. Their life demonstrate the success that you are looking for. That is a mentor. The mentor must be in your industry. Whereas a coach is someone who may not actually even play, but has built up systems and processes to get you to do the stuff that needs to be done. So you yourself gonna need to ask yourself, who do I need? Do I need a mentor? Do I need a coach? I personally have multi-level mentors and coaches that I assess at different stages in different problems. There's people that I will contact for different problems because I know they specialize in that. So I don't have one specific person. I have different people so that when I have different problems, I can approach different people. Now, when it comes to dealing with fears and dealing with making decisions, I know that when I'm transparent with my fears, with whoever that I communicate with, I am stepping onto that fear. I am owning up to that weakness. I think most human beings as men, we generally, especially men, we're generally afraid to be vulnerable and transparent. We want to show macho kind of way of doing things.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So what I am asking you is that the reason why this fear takes ownership is because you are not transparent with it.
Yeah.
You are accepting to me because I'm your mentor and your coach, but you are not accepting to it to the right people when you are talking to them. But because then you can discuss it openly and it can be dealt with, because you can then, that person might even come up with solutions. It's okay, if your fears is someone that you're gonna employ and not pay, why can't I work on commission? Why can't you cover my expenses? Here are my expenses, then cover my commission. You will do the commission. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And it is that type of transparency that you're gonna need to have, but with the right person at the right time. When you are comfortable, that person can do what they want, they have the right network, they have created a right system. You don't want someone who's gonna want for you to be the one who create the system, who's the one who's building up the network, doing all of that. You might as well do the stuff yourself. So you want someone who's gonna bring the network, bring the skill set, but will come up with a strategy on how to market your product. So that is, I'm running out of time now. We've come to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much. It was amazing spending time with you, Norman and Bongani. I hope going through this has provided some clarity, but also for you to realize that maybe this is the first document you should have had before you started your business. Because
Absolutely.
It will have helped to help you get your mind right. It will have helped to have a clarity, because there's nothing as important as clarity as entrepreneur. We need clarity so that it's quicker to make decisions. Decisions are difficult because we do not have clarity. Thank you so much. God bless you both. And
Thank you.
God is going to provide the clarity. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.